Hey guys, welcome to the gun shop, and today we're going to be looking at these, the GPO Evolve 8x42 binoculars. Before we start looking at them in any real sense, we're going to have a look at the pouch that you can achieve with it. This is the GPO binocular harness. I would be wearing it, but Dave has set it up for himself. We've had these on demo for a couple of weeks to have a little play with, and Dave is very much a size small and I'm a little bit more extra large. Things we have found: firstly, trying to keep a black canvas pouch clean is really difficult. Secondly, this is a generic pouch for all their items, so it's a little bit floppy with these 8x42s. However, the longer, larger, bigger ones fit nicer. One thing we do like about it, apart from the fact that you really need to change the colour to match the cool hat camo, is the fact that it comes with a little chamois, so you can keep your scope and your binos clean, and more importantly, in the front there, you can keep a few bullets strapped to your chest. The other thing, you have air ventilation around the back. That's quite cool. But please, GPO, change the colour. Green, brown, camo, anything. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's talk about these. These are the Evolve EDs. Sitting price point wise at £420 retail. What do you get? These weigh in at 670 grams, which puts them perfectly in the middle weight wise for what they are. Except what these have that other manufacturers do not is an aluminium housing. The fact they've got a metal housing over a PVC housing in the £400 to £500 to £600 price range puts them above just about everything else, which, by the way, means value for money, and I love value for money. Another really good thing about them is the field of view. They have the widest field of view of any binocular in the price point on the market at that zoom level. That being 142 meters at 100 meters. That is a massive field of view. That's 20 meters more than a Zeiss Terra. So how have I found them in use? Well, in all honesty, I use my own quite regularly, and my own binoculars, I have a high end pair and a low end pair. My low end pair are a pair of Bushnells, which I'm going to compare to these because those Bushnells I think will retail about £360. How do I find them? Colour on the Evolve EDs is absolutely top notch. In terms of colour and colour enhancement, it is pretty much uncomparable to anything I've looked through. Where it does lack a little bit, however, doesn't lack at the price point, only lacks by comparison to the HDs, which I also have a pair of here to test, is the depth of field. Actual edge to edge definition was clearly not a priority, however, edge definition is still very good. Colour retained all the way through right until the end of the day as well, which was good. What I did find is that in the last 15 minutes of the day, like any cheaper optics, and I wouldn't hesitate to say these are cheap, these are mid-level, is that you did start to see a little bit of fuzz. Where the HDs pick up, as well as a lot of high ends, is that even when colour fails, you can still pick out edges, and the edges did start to get a little bit fuzzy. However, I wouldn't have shot those deer with the rifle I had in my hands, so I suppose it didn't really matter. I could still identify them, I could still sex them, I could still species them, and in reality, that's kind of all that matters. All right, now these are a little bit washed off, we can kind of explain why we've been being so mean to these. And the real answer here is that they can take it. I have absolutely no doubt that these binoculars are waterproof, unlike a lot of their competitors. I have no doubt that these binoculars are shockproof, unlike a lot of their competitors. Hence, we've been throwing it around the field. Hence, when we've been testing it, we've been treating it really hard. Because if a binocular, if you're going to test it for a couple of weeks, if you can't test it hard, how do you think it's going to stand up over the course of 3 or 4 years? This is not the first time we've done a dunk test, because every binocular that says they're waterproof, we like, just for personal reasons, to give them a little splash under the tap. And you'd be absolutely amazed at how many of them will fog up over the course of a week or a month. Anyway, let me use that really helpful chamois to dry these off. Now, obviously, it probably would have made a lot more sense to actually put the lens covers on, but I must admit that I forgot. And we are absolutely back in the game. So, they're built really hard. They've got an aluminium body, which is pretty much unheard of for anything less than 600 quid. They're good, they're clear, they do everything you want. Yes, they might lack a little bit in depth of field. And yes, there is the only other issue I haven't spoken about is that this Parallax Focus here is a little bit too sensitive. It's a little bit too sensitive. So if you chuck them in your pockets and not in here, you might find out, you pull them out and it does feel like you're a bit spaced out. However, if you actually look after these, I'd love to think that wouldn't be too much of an issue. However, in reality, when I was testing them over the last couple of weeks, just shoving them in my pocket, chucking them on the dash, doing as you would with a pair of binoculars, letting them smash in the footwell, doing all of the things that you really shouldn't do with a nice piece of kit, which these are, yeah, they were really good. I really like these. I must admit that I'd rather invest in the HDs. However, I don't have the 800 quid that are required to get me into the HD. For 400 pounds, I'm into these. And for 400 pounds, I don't think there's much else I would want to own, actually. And they are good. However, actually, I'd find the extra money and buy the HDs because you get all of this, except you get the clarity and the depth of field that you really, really want for a stalking bino. Wildlife bino, casual stalking bino, absolutely fantastic. However, like with anything, I've been spoilt by the good stuff, and we will have a little look at the good stuff at some point. But for now, for an entry-level bino, yeah, get behind them, give them a go. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Take care, goodbye, and we'll see you next time.